Where is God? Why don't I see him? Isn't he supposed to be everywhere? Why can't I recognize him? Why can't I hear him? These are questions I've asked myself, and maybe you have too. I've discovered the answers might be simpler than you think. But first, let's go on a walk. A couple thousand years ago, two disciples of Jesus were walking on a road out of Jerusalem, talking about everything that had just happened, the crazy events that had just happened. Jesus had just been brutally crucified and tombed. And now there were rumors that he may have been resurrected. As these guys were traveling, Jesus himself joined them along the road. He was walking right beside them, talking about these things with them for a really long time. And they didn't recognize him. Really? How do you not recognize somebody that you've given up your life to follow for years now? How do you not recognize them? But there's an interesting twist. This is where it gets really good. Luke 24:16 says they were prevented from recognizing him. Prevented. That means this was intentional. So what was going on? Resurrected Jesus was physically present during this walk with these two disciples. But he knew his work wasn't finished yet. He knew he would be ascending soon, and he needed to do something first. See, he knew that he wasn't going to be there to see his disciples face to face, so he didn't want them to depend on recognizing him by his face. Honestly, that's us. We can't see Jesus with our eyes, so we have to have other ways to recognize him. And that's what Jesus was doing here. He was modeling all of the ways to communicate and recognize God going forward. Look, he's giving us an entire communication instruction book right here in this one story. Do you want to know where God is in your life? Pay attention to this story. As you're about to see, we communicate with God through his word, through his spirit that lives in all of us, and through God's people, like the very disciples Jesus was walking with on that day. Scripture tells us that Jesus walked with these men for hours and shared deeply with them. He showed them all of the accounts of the prophecies in Scripture that testify about him. He connected all the dots for them so that they could tell others. Those two men described, our hearts burned within us as they felt the Spirit awakening inside them. In their excitement, when they arrived at their destination, they asked this stranger to stay with them and eat with them. So Jesus stayed with them and ate with them. And he sat down with them with the meal, lifted the bread, broke the bread, said a prayer. This is when Scripture tells us that the men's eyes were opened and they saw him. Do you see what just happened here? Jesus made sure to model all of these ways to communicate with God, and it wasn't until these men learned these ways that they were really able to see him. Having taught them these lessons, Jesus vanished from their sight, disappeared, poof, vanished. These guys were so excited, they ran out the door and ran all the way back to Jerusalem. They could not wait to share what they had just learned. Think about what that means. God walked with these two men 2,000 years ago with you in mind. Yes, you. Listen, the creator of the universe planned all of this with you in mind. How awesome is our God? See, sometimes God holds back what we expect to see or what we want to see so that he can show us something deeper, something bigger, something much better. Look, God isn't hiding from us. For sure, sometimes we're too distracted or too self-absorbed in our own world to notice. That happens a lot, actually, but sometimes we're just not looking in the right places. We're not listening in the right places. We're not using the tools that God designed for us to use to communicate with him. I don't believe in coincidences. You're seeing this video for a reason. So here's a challenge. Put away your phone for 30 minutes today. Go for a walk. Sit in silence. Pray. Read the Bible. Talk with people who know Jesus. Give God the room to work in your life. You might be surprised to learn who's been walking right beside you this entire time.